Sup, Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SB Interviews, where today, for the six of these I'm chatting to a guy named Jonni Apollo, a musician that I have found out quite a bit about recently, and his music is really, really interesting. So we're just going to switch over to the main screen right now. Hi, Johnny. Everyone say hello, and please feel free to introduce yourself.
What's up, man? What's up, everybody? I go by Jonni Apollo, JONNIAPOLLO. Coming out of Santa Clarita Valley, California. Born and raised Cali, man. Let's get it, man. I'm excited. I'm excited.
And so, like, as a musician, like, what do you want to say about yourself to people to sort of market yourself? Because I've been doing some research, and you consider marketing to be very, very important.
It's valuable. It kind of like it's what's going to separate you from the boys, kind of sense. So like, how are you going to get your name out there when you have 100 people, 5,000 people on your Facebook, but only 20 people interact with you? At that point, you have to find some kind of way to, market yourself to another audience, because obviously you're not speaking to the right one.
No, that's fair enough. Because as a musician, because you don't call yourself a rapper, do you? What's this terminology that you use?
I'm an artist.
I love it. It's like simple, but then it also makes so much sense, right?
Yes, sir. I'm an artist. I make art. I sing. I'm not a singer, but I sing. I rap. I songwrite. I edit. I market. I promo. I I run this shit. Like, I run everything. I book. I'm an artist. I'm an artist.
Because I've actually seen on your necklace it says Apollo right there.
Yeah, this is new, man. This is new, man. I've never had jewelry before. I'm actually not a jewelry person. I've always been against it. Well, not against it, just not my thing. Lately, it's been just kind of like, I want to get something for myself, because, man, I've done a lot. Like, in the past 9 months, it's been a hard grind, and I don't go out. I haven't gone out in like a year and a half, almost 2 years. So I was like, you know what? F that. Like, I'm going to treat myself to something. So I got myself an Apollo chain, and it feels good, man. It's not real diamonds, but it can be, but it's real gold. Best believe that. It's real gold. It's real gold.
It's a lot to take in because I don't usually talk to artists which are either this confident or who like have the kind of presence that you do. Because I've noticed that you've been getting a reasonable amount of attention for Chains of Apollo. Is it?
Yeah, dude, the song was my song, man. It was supposed to be my goodbye to music. I was done. I was done. I was in a really bad area. I quit music. I put the mic down. Shout out to Dead End, my producer out of Ukraine. He sent me a beat pack, and he's like, bro, you got to snap out of it. And I wrote Chains from, like, I didn't write it right away. I was going through the beats, and then the beat came on, and I was like, and I cried for the first time. I cried, and it just formed. It formed with ease. It just flowed, and the lyrics took me a while to write, because I was just like, I wanted to be so not subliminal, but like, I wanted to have a message, because there's a deep message behind that, man. And, so, it took me a couple weeks, but when I recorded it, man, like, there was a shift in the energy, and like it was a shift. I felt it. I just didn't know what it was. I wanted to hit 1,000 streams. I'm at almost 325,000 now, or like beyond that. Like, what the fuck? Excuse my language, but like, damn, dude, damn. It was my goodbye.
Don't worry about the language. It's all good. It's fine.
Okay.
I don't think the target demographic for this is like 10 to 13-year-olds or anything like that. So it's fine.
Okay, cool, cool. Well, yeah, man, that's pretty much Chains from Apollo. Part 2's coming out this year.
Yeah, because I remember reading that it was gonna be like a 5-parter, right?
Yep. And all 5 parts are almost the last 2 are not. Well, the last one is not mapped out, because it's about my life, man. Like, Chains from Apollo Part 1 literally went back like years. In 2 minutes and 45 seconds, I put everything out on the line. My depression, I'm a liar, I've done this, like, I cheated on my ex, I did so much, and I put it out on the fucking line. I'm an alcoholic. I did, like, it was just so much, and I just, like, pumped it out, because I couldn't live with it anymore. Couldn't live with it anymore. Like, my ex broke up with me, she left. Like, it was just like, I was done. And I was done with music, and music was like, I'm not done with you, bro. You have a lot of lives to save. And yeah. Fucking A, man.
You have quite a story, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, it I've been, yeah, this is an honest one, is what it is. I have an honest story. I've been a liar. I've been down that whole fake shit, and it just, bro, this is the realest I've ever gotten. This is the furthest I've ever gotten. 17 years, and this is only 9 months, and I'm like, I'm flying right now. So don't be a fucking lying ass artist. Like, don't do it, because it won't get you nowhere. And if it does, you're not going to get very far. Period. Like, you just won't. Just won't.
That's honestly inspirational. I mean that as someone who semi regularly goes on the SoundCloud and sees like an artist with like a million streams on their video, their song, but like maybe 2 or 3 likes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's just, man. Yeah. Yeah. That's that shit right there, man. That's that fake shit, man. Straight up.
I'm actually I think I'm instantly very glad to be talking to you because I think you're going to be a very interesting person to chat to because you started out on the drum kit at the age of 5 or something like that, right?
Yeah, my uncle put me behind the drums. I remember walking into the garage. My uncle used to live in the garage. I love you, Uncle Louis. I walked into the garage. He sat me down and handed me the drumsticks, and I'll forever remember that. I just like bow, 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 and then like mom came in, and then like I just remember like leaving, and then that was it. 12 years old, but that same uncle bought me my drum set from Walmart. 14 years old, he bought me my first drum set from Guitar Center of Pacific. Shout out to Pacific. I fucking love that brand. They're a great company. And I was with, pretty much drumming from that age of 14 in bands throughout age of 17. And then got into rap because I just couldn't drum at my mom's house. The noise was too loud for my neighbors. I lived in a very elderly neighborhood. So it was out of respect. And I respected it. I was pissed, but I respected it. So that's how freaking, rap came about. But songwriting I was doing at 14 for my rock band because no one could write a song, and I was like, well, fuck it, I'll write a song. Like, if you guys can't do it, I will. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue what I was doing. I just went off of what I liked from listening to music, and I just copied. Yeah. My parents still have some of the songs written. Like, I aged them too, 13 years old, 15 years old. Like, they still have some of those.
That was a really good idea because, I don't know how many people think of doing that, like taking note of when they create stuff to kind of look back on it and see how far they've come.
It's really cool, man. Just to like, even if you don't like have the vision of like making it, you can at 20 years old, you're still messing around with music. You look back like, damn, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope, because it was, man. It still is. Cause like, look at that. It's really cool.
Because like you mentioned the rock music before. I know that you've listed influences such as Atreyu and Chevelle and Tool and stuff. How do you put those different influences? Because you've also got influences from like Twister and Bone Thug and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Twister, Bone Thugs, man. So rock music was first. I was drummer. So Atreyu, I was introduced by Atreyu by an old best friend of mine by the name of Robert, and he was into that screamo, and I was like, whoa, what is that? And it hit a certain part of me that music could never hit listening to anything else. Like, it was just the way that Atreyu presented the screaming with the singing and the drumming and the beautiful riffs. Just like the Remembrance Ballad is one of my favorite songs ever to this day. I will bump it. It makes me cry because it's a beautiful song. It has screaming, but it's a beautiful song. And it's, so I take that, the emotions from, rock music. There's a lot of depression, but it's because I can relate to that. There's a certain part of me that just like wants to hear that because it helps me get through my day, and to, relatable. It's relatable music. It's honest music. And really at the end of the day, like, that's what I'm looking for. So I try to use honesty now in my music. So I really used my rock influence with the honesty, and then Twista, because I rap. Twista, Bone Thugs. If it wasn't for Bone Thugs, I probably wouldn't have a harmonizing voice. And if it wasn't for Twista, I wouldn't be as fast as rapper as I would be. If it wasn't for Tech Nine, I wouldn't have the drive that I do. Shout out to all those. It's just like, that's what it is.
You mentioned how like even with the screaming, it was still beautiful, right?
Yeah, man, it is. It can be.
Isn't it interesting just how those different elements combine and like I don't know if you like because obviously how does your production process work? Because you're obviously in charge of like the vocals and such. How much do you sort of get involved with the rest of the bits?
The mixing I do, mastering I do, recording I do. I just don't make the beat because if I made the beat, no, I, my, how should I say this? The way at the rate that I'm moving, it would slow me down at this point, and even further back. So, but the beat, I've always just like, nah, I don't have the patience to sit there and make the beat. I'll watch you and I'll write. I want to be writing. I want to be writing. I want to be, doing everything but the beat, man. Everything but the beat. I love producers. I love producers, and I have a fucking respect for them. So much respect for them. 8 hours on one beat sometimes, man. 8 hours. Like, so yeah, producers deserve to fucking eat. Yeah, pay them the $100, you fucking assholes. Like, pay them the goddamn money. You fucking deserve it.
Man, so because you work with a few different producers, like Dead End is obviously one of the ones you've worked with most recently, and it sounds like a fantastic human being.
He's honestly great. Like, we've had our not eye to eye communications and some of our differences, but at the end of the day, like, I love the kid. He's 21 years old, 22 now, and his drive is insane. Like, him and I we come from the same area of creativity where he reaches into the depression because that's where he finds his creativity. So do I. It's just where I find my creativity because I've stuffed so much in that, like, now that I have an opportunity to really get honest, bro, this is 29 years of fucking bullshit that I've just like stuffed and just been a positive guru. Oh, believe in law of attraction. Yeah, that's cool and all, but you like, it's realistic. Let's think realistic here. Like, there's negatives and then there's positives, and you can find both in both. So my positives found in a negative, weirdly, music.
Oh, but I mean, that's the beauty of introspection, though, isn't it? Like looking into yourself and learning truths, and that can be a positive thing, can't it?
Absolutely. I mean no disrespect against like law of attraction and all that. Like, it's beautiful because I do, follow some of the teachings as well. But we have to remember, I have to remember, like, as a human, I will still have bad days, and those bad days don't like define my life, if that makes sense. So if you're a positive person and if you have a bad day, it's cool. It's not going to define who you are. It's just you're having a bad day. So, like, it's cool. And that's where it was hard for me to find balance. But that's, yeah.
No, that's fantastic. It's just because I've also noticed that you actually encourage people to go and talk to you about it when they have rough times as well with your music. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Please reach out to me. I'm a person. Like, I just make music. I literally just make fucking music, and like, I want to save a life. If I can save one life besides mine, then I'm like, I've done it. I've done it, just one person. That's all I ask. And, who knows? Who knows?
So that's actually quite deep. Like, I mean, I say that as someone, I think everybody knows people who sort of struggle with that sort of thing. And you've described, like, because I had, as you can tell, I've been trying to do some research. I've been trying to do my job, basically. You've mentioned how you stuffed stuff inside and everything like that. How does it feel to kind of get it all out in the open and sort of discuss it?
Man, be ready to cry. That's for sure. Just be ready to cry, because these are feelings that, like, if you're going to go and do something like this, straight up be ready to cry, but let it happen, because the tears are another thing that I've also stuffed in. I used to, don't cry. Men don't cry. Men don't cry. Men don't cry. Men don't cry. And like, I grew up with that. And, I'm not a felon or anything, but I did some, time in juvie, and I got into trouble when I was a kid, and you couldn't cry in juvie. You always had to, keep it fucking stiffed up, bro. Like, what are you doing? Get up off the ground. You can't be on the ground. Like, shout out to that, because that gave me the tough skin, but that also created an emotional fucking wreck, to be honest with you. Like, my relationships were ruined because of my emotions. Like, everything is ruined because of my emotions, because all I did was stuff shit in. Don't do it, because some people don't make it, and that's some real shit, so don't. Don't.
So I think, because we've covered a lot of ground in like 12 12 to 15 minutes.
There's a lot more. So, man. Yeah, there's a lot, man. There's a lot.
It's okay. Honestly, like when I started doing these interviews, people would be like, I really hope you don't do the 10 question thing where it's like answer this and this and this and then go away sort of thing, you know? Please, honestly, like it's just so good that you're open. Because for anyone watching this who hasn't heard of your music, it just shows how sort of genuine a human being you are.
That's dope. That's dope. I mean, just trying to be real, you know. That's why my slogan is I am the real Jonni Apollo, not because, you know, there's other ones out there. I'm the best one. Sorry, shout out to y'all, but I'm the best. But you know, but like I am the real Jonni Apollo, and you know, like you've been chained by Apollo. What that means is like you've been chained by my music, you've been chained by my emotions. I'm keeping it real with you, and now from here on out, no matter where you go in life, you're gonna remember the real Jonni Apollo, and you're gonna remember my emotions because you've been chained by them. Because I'm keeping it fucking real, and everybody remembers real.
So like what stage did you realize how important that was?
10 months ago. Well, a year and a half ago when I got honest with my, you know, my ex, and I told her that I had cheated on her. And at that point when she left, she took my daughter, like my life in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I went from kind of being on top of the world in a sense to I had nothing, not even a dollar to my name. And
Oh.
like I had nothing. And we just moved back so me and my ex moved to Colorado from Cali, and then we moved back to Cali from Colorado because we had a child, or you know, we had a daughter. But it was in those moments though of like getting honest with her, getting honest with my family, and then I just like, I don't know what it was, but it was at that point that I had to like put all the music stuff down. I had to put it down, and I was just like, I'm done, because I couldn't even think straight. Like nothing, you couldn't talk to me. I would look at you and you would think you're looking at like a soulless person. I'm just like, what? Because I was just drinking. Everything just fell apart, man. Everything just fucking fell apart. And like, yeah. So a year and a half ago is when I realized I'm a fucking liar. I got to get fucking honest. This is what it is. This is who Johnny is. And I've lied on, you know, social media so much that everybody thinks I'm just like, no, I'm not. Like, to be honest with you, I'm not. I curse a lot. Like, this is me. And it feels, you know, it feels good because when I dropped Chains from Apollo, and I actually dropped an album, which you can find on SoundCloud only. You can only find the album on SoundCloud, Chains from Apollo album part 1. Throughout that album, you'll hear my daughter, you hear me speaking. There's some real stuff in that album. There's I am the real Johnny Garcia part 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is a 20-minute video that I decided to do and post up on Facebook, that I extracted the audio from, cut it up, and put it throughout the album because I wanted people to know that I cheated, that like this is who the fuck I am, and I am sorry to everybody that believed in me and that I lied to. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. And this is my way of saying sorry. And it almost makes me want to cry, but the people that left are now back. Not my ex, but my old fans and my old followers are starting to gravitate towards back to me again. And I'm not going nowhere. I'm back.
I honestly, I think you're one of the bravest dudes I've come across. I don't really know anyone who could really recover like this. Typically, when something like that happens, and this is just purely just when something that happens and it's sort of something that society doesn't really consider a norm, right? Or like, people usually get completely shit on for it. For you to take something that could show some vulnerability and to kind of use it as a chance to really just show how vulnerable you are, and then for people to gravitate, I guess in a way you made the right choice, didn't you? You know?
I did because it was just not, like getting honest hurt a lot because people were like, well, what the, you know, they were like, fuck this guy, like who the fuck. And like the more I started like just like keep being open about it and just meeting people face to face and talking to them face to face and saying it to your face, like, bro, it was like, whoa, like this dude's being, it just took a while. People thought it was for show. And shit wasn't for show, man. Like that shit was not for show. Well, not the cheating part. There was other parts I thought was for show. And I really wanted people to know that I'm keeping it real. I don't want people to think I'm a liar anymore, because like I've just done it, man. Like yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I think you have shown people that you're honest. Because again, there are not a lot of people who will be brave enough to admit that they made those kind of mistakes, and that actually puts you in this fucking incredible position where now that you've got that out of the way,
Yeah.
you can just go forward without needing to worry about, oh, what if someone finds out?
Yeah. Yeah, that's literally, well, that was one of the things too that I thought about after dropping. I was like, well, fuck, Johnny, like you just like and I'm like sitting behind my computer like, oh shit. Like you just took the amp, like any ammo you took all of that. You just were like, well, fuck that. This is what I did. And like I thought about that after, and I was like, well, shit, that's like you can take it for how it is, but I didn't mean for it to come off like that. That was the reasoning behind it wasn't reasoning that it turned into, is what, crazy.
So this music that you have released for Chains of Apollo, you talk about wanting people to feel good about themselves and to sort of be their own. What's the interpretation? How does that relate to how you think people need to feel about themselves?
Be your own boss, but don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, it's okay. We're all leaders. Don't be a boss. Be okay. Be a boss. Like, okay, we're all bosses, but be a leader, and don't be afraid to ask another leader to lead you, because we all need that. Like, I need it. They need it. Like, we all can get to a certain point by ourselves, but it's past that certain point that like, hey, you up there, what can we do to get some business going that I can get to your level, because I want to get there and I think you're fucking dope and this is what I do, and can we share?
Oh, so it's kind of like feeling, being the best you can be, but also not pretending that you need to live life on your own, and trying to sort of get help when you need it, and trying to sort of build connections and all that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Build your network, and but don't be afraid to put your foot down. If someone's gonna, like, if you feel someone's walking all over you, fuck that. Hey bro, check yourself. Like, check it, bro. First, because we don't want to be a doormat, period. But we also don't want to be an asshole, because I've been both, and that doesn't work either. Either don't work. And it's good to just let people know you're about your business, and that's just what it is. Money's on the line.
Because speaking of people not letting them getting walked over, you've paid attention to the Greek mythology, right? If I'm correct,
that's all recent.
A lot of those members of that that theological society do not appreciate getting walked. There's a bit of fuckery that went on with the Greek gods, wasn't there?
Oh yes, man. Oh yeah. They were bullied, man. They were bullied out of their territory, out of their reign, out of their rights, just like everything else. Because I think back in the day, people were 10 feet, 20 feet tall, walking around with wings out their back. And, people, this is my crazy thinking though. But if we go back, like, with all the things that presented, we're in 2021 now, man. There's so much that's been brought to light. Like, what makes you think? What makes you think? And with, my certain beliefs, they have been, I don't want to say like in hiding, but they were killed off for how do I explain this? Like, because I don't believe gods die, period. Like, if you believe in Jesus, I think he was, the deity of love. I think he was a God of love. He came down and loved the hell out of everybody, but that wasn't my belief system. Like, that just doesn't work for me. But he believes in God. Well, so does Apollo. But Apollo's teachings work for me, because it's more of like, I love you, you can love me, and you're not gonna step on me, and we're gonna try to be family, and we're all gonna get this. And Apollo being Apollo, he was also a warrior, and times got hard and times got rough. You gotta do what you gotta do. And I'm not talking about me being violent, but I'll attack you with my we'll go song for song. Like, trust me, a diss track will drop. And I don't want people to think like I'm like Apollo, like, well, I'm gonna come back with some fucking bow and arrows and kill people. But my lyrics are bows and arrows. Like, my beats are like, what I'm doing is just, my bows and arrows are my music. You get in my way, you're gonna get shot.
No, it sounds like you're just sort of describing humans being allowed to be humans, I guess, in a sense, right?
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes. Don't. Yeah. Have fun. Don't be too competitive. Have fun. Like that's absolutely.
It sounds so kind of when you think about like humans being allowed to be humans, man, where are we at as a society where like so many of us have to try and be robots?
That's the thing is like people are so afraid of like stepping on toes in the underground. Let's think about this, guys. You're stepping on toes in the like you're in the underground. You're gonna be stepped on. Like it's just what it is. It's so fucking packed in the underground that you, as a person, need to figure out which door, which house, however you want to put it. My old analogy was I'm walking around a super fucking crowded house, but I'm walking around the house. I'm not trying to go through the front door. I'm looking through the windows. I'm looking through the cracks. I'm looking through the hole. Can I drill another hole in that hole? Can I make that hole bigger? If I can, I'm bringing people with me. And like that's how you need to be thinking with the music industry. Don't go through the front door. Everybody's sending EPKs to record labels. Don't get your numbers up. Do something different.
Yeah.
Get playlisted. Like
no, that's a good point. Because, yeah, you do sound like the kind of person who's put a lot of time and effort into understanding their part of the industry. Like, yeah, no, I think you're right about not sending mixtapes into labels. It doesn't really work as well as it used to, does it?
nah, man, it's different. It's 2021, man. Like people are on, they're like labels. Shout out to Sony. One of the A&Rs heard me through a playlist, through a Sony fucking playlist. I pitched my song to Sony. They put it on, or through a Sony, it was like through a Sony pitching company or whatever. But I pitched them my song. They got my song on 5 playlists. This dude hits me up. I got his number. I shared the screenshot, like some of our conversation. I have, things in the works with Sony Orchard. I have things not like, and that's because of playlists. So people need to like take this idea of sending demos and EPKs and websites to playlists. No, I mean to record labels. No, future record labels are playlists. So get yourself on a very, very nice playlist with a lot of followers, but organic followers. Don't go to a 40,000 person playlist. Those are cool, but I think the ones that are like between 2 to 5,000 are more organic, and you're gonna see a lot of fucking activity, man. You're gonna see a lot of activity. So, like really, Spotify doesn't even have 40,000 followers. So it's like, got to keep your eye on some things, and shout out to those playlists, but I got to keep it real.
No, that's it's actually fascinating. You're not the only person I've heard mentioning playlists. Like, when do you think that shift occurred towards being Spotify focused?
Honestly, man, I think it happened. I think the pop possibly happened like 5 or 6 years ago, but it didn't really make like a sting in the industry until literally last year. Like last year, is when like I pitched myself to my first playlist, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And it ended up getting like to 5 playlists, but Change from Apollo it got playlisted 25 free times because other playlisters are listening and they're putting it on their playlist. And I'm like, bruh, like I'm spending my overhead for Chains of Apollo, like, and like, it's like, make good music, y'all. Make good fucking music, and I guarantee you something magical could happen. I'm dead fucking serious. There's no fucking hanging money in front of your face, no fucking Twinkie on the stick running out. Like, no, this is some real shit. This is some real shit. You can get yourself on a good playlist, man, and someone might hit you up. They did me.
That's actually incredible because, like, for musicians in this day and age, like, how has the offline music industry been for you over the past while?
Hitting the streets, I noticed, yeah, you get the one-on-one interaction, but it's literally one-on-one rather than you're online, and you're getting 1-on-20. Boom, boom, boom. 20 DMs coming in, blah, blah, blah. You're like right there. There's days where I can't record for 2-3 hours because I'm answering DMs. People are hitting me up. Yo, your music's dope. Yo, your music's dope. Heard you on this playlist. Heard you on that playlist. Like, bet. But people don't want to listen to me on my social media because they think it's a fake and fraud. But all right, I'm on Kiss FM right now. This shit ain't fake. Like, I'm being spun, man. Like, the shit's fucking moving. And now they're like, oh, we got to get on playlists. Oh, yeah, now, but, y'all gonna do you. I love y'all. You can hit me up, but I'm gonna talk my shit.
Wait, so basically, because a lot of people are told, oh, you've got to have your social media sorted out, but really, like, you gotta go to other people's websites, then they lead you back to your social medias, and only then will you be seen as legitimate on your own social medias. Is that correct?
There's like that, the social media marketing. The whole footwork is cool. But I have done it all, and I have found in 10 months a kaboom fast. So you do what you all feel is right, but I know what I like.
No, no, no. I think you've actually got it. And you're the kind of music that you create. You're choosing people that specifically cover things that they do well, and you're sticking to what you do well, and you're going at a speed that's good because you're not trying to do everything yourself. And because of that, you're finding success.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this is not real diamonds, but it's real gold, So it's like, man, so I'm very blessed. And I don't say that in an ego way, because remember, I this is all new, but like, I'm proud, man. I'm fucking proud. Like, I did this, and I'm still doing it. And it's not, the work has just started. Like, now it's just started. And now I got to kick it into second gear and be like, okay, now they need more. But like, I'm ready for, like, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted.
So how? Because you said, is it the second part that's coming out soon? Is that correct? Of the Chains of Apollo?
It's going to be in the summer, July 4th, to give a date. That's going to be the 1 year anniversary from when part 1 dropped. So July 4th, and on Independence Day, weirdly, it was like, oh, I went independent on Independence Day.
That's all. I'm actually really pumped. This makes me very, very happy. Is it going to be like a yearly thing for the next 3, do you reckon, or?
Yeah. This is going to be something that I want to keep dropping on July 4th for the next 5 years. That's why I have like part 2's already done, recorded. I'm in the mixing, mastering process. I have to re-record some things, but it's all simple stuff. It's pretty much done. It's just tweaking it up. Next year's already being written out. I'm actually going to take it back to the Chains from Apollo Part 1 beat, because Chains from Apollo Part 2 is going to be rock, just so everybody knows. I'm saying, I'm not rapping. I am not rapping on it. I'm an artist, man. Like, I'm going to my roots for this one. So I'm like, my uncle's going to be on the drums. The uncle that showed me the drum set is going to be on the drums. Like, his band's going to be, oh, that's all I can say. it's yeah.
Because I have to admit, I did listen to Chains of Apollo as well as a few of your other tracks, which yeah, I can hear the Twister influences on a few of those. You're going for it, man.
Yeah, he's fast. He'll hit triplets like 3 bars straight, and this is like, but it's so perfect, and the words are intricate, and there's a lot of intricacy in writing in double time. And when people hit me up for a verse, and I'm just like, yeah, bro, X amount of dollars. What? Why? Well, here's my Google. You can, do whatever you need to do with Google, and I'm going to have your verse written in like 2 weeks, but you're going to have the best. Like, I swear, like, just here's my music, here's my catalog. And they don't want to do it, but I drop things, Press picks it up. Like, right now, anything I drop, Press picks it up. Like, eyes are fucking on me, and so you're not just investing into me, you're investing into yourself at this point. What am I bringing to the table? Goddamn mainstream press. Like, I don't even know what else to say. Like, goddamn. And it's weird to say stuff like that. And, it's not coming from an egotistical place. It's just, I have that backing now.
No, you're absolutely right. The reality is that if you're a musician that is starting up, you're gonna need to spend some cash. You're gonna need to spend some cash, not just on your setup, not just on producers, but also you're gonna have to find someone who actually has organic followers, who vibes with your music, and if they want some money in return for a feature, maybe the first single or two, just until you gain some traction, and maybe there'll be a 50-50 split, you're probably gonna have to pay,
I did for 12 years. I paid and I gave for free. 12 years, man. 12 years. This year is the first year I put a stop. Right when January 1st, 2021 hit, I was like, boom, no more free verses. Done. This was the year that I switched it all over.
Yeah, like, honestly, no, you shouldn't be doing them for free at all. No.
Not anymore, man.
No.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you for saying that.
No, like, honestly, like, this is not me doing it because I'm, like, fanboying over your stuff or anything. Literally, you've put a lot of work into what you do, and you deserve to get, but it's not like there's, like, a one line out of 4 where you kind of, you go out of time and you kind of say something silly or something. You're pretty precise with it, which is good. It's going to be really cool to hear the release on July the 4th, though, with the singing. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, this one I'm like, I'm really singing. Like I'm just like, and there's a part in there where I'm singing, but I start crying because my friend had just messaged me. Shout out to Canales. He had messaged me, and he told me that I have, you know, have inspired him, and I deserve so much, and that like, you know, forget what other people think, you know, that I, you know, deserve this. And like he messaged me at that point of me recording, and I popped in, and you know, I I just kept recording, but I was crying, and I don't know, something inside of me was just like, just keep recording, dude. And I kept recording, and that part right there is the part that I've showed a couple people, and they're like, bro, that part hit me. And I'm really excited to drop this song, because if the first one did what it did, I think the second one,
Yeah.
second one, man.
That's the thing. It might seem like, oh no, I'm not performing it the way I planned it to go, therefore it's gonna go to crap, right? Well, no, because sometimes it can be accidentally incredible.
Yeah, yeah. That one little crack in that voice might sound weird in the headphones, but you hear it back and you're like, oh, shit, that like, yeah, save that. Like that little tear comes down, and that just that one part, and it's called Duende. It's the Duende of music, and it's like a Latin thing. It's like a elf or like a miniature person, but it's actually a deep, dark, pretty much like a depressive emotion that gets put into music. And you know, everyone should look it up. Duende, Duende, and you know, Duende, yeah. And it's the emotion that gets put into the music. Some of the most famous musicians have added Duende in their music, and it's your real raw feeling, you know. And again, it just goes right back to be saying, I am the real Jonni Apollo. You know, it all works. It all is, you know, intertwined, man.
What you've been talking about mirrors what I've heard from a fair few people now about how they're real because they're just being themselves, right? And also, no, you're you as a person. You're a unique individual, but it's just so fucking crazy to me that we have people that, and it's a valid thing, that their point of difference and why you should listen to them is because they're themselves. When did it get to a point where everyone just sounded like everyone else? Like,
Man, that happened in like, I mean, again, like I love hip hop, and this is why, you know, this is why I'm gonna stay in this lane, because I'm gonna really bring back, I'm gonna bring back fucking talent out of hip hop artists, man. Like I'm tired of, like, I shout out to every artist on the radio, shout out to every rapper doing their thing, but talent's coming back. I have a flood of talented rappers, and no, we ain't playing no games. Like no, we're not. Like, we're not coming in guns blazing. We're coming in lyrics blazing. Take all that shit elsewhere. Like hip hop used to be about this, like this culture of like, you know, collab, and then in the early 2000s, everything came about bling, 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 and that's when shit just got lost. And then, like, again, shout out to every rapper, but like trap started taking over, and shout out to the trappers, but the people that don't rap about that. Like, and this is where the real shit comes in, because just because trap is popular doesn't mean you need to rap about, I got 100 pounds. Like, no, you probably got 2, okay, but you don't got 100. Like, just keep it real. But you also don't live that trap life. Like, just keep it real over a trap beat. How about that, y'all? How about keep it real over what's trendy? Because you're still keeping it real. Like, I get too emotional about this. I will get really passionate about this topic, because trendy beats are fucking dope. Radio beats are fucking dope, but that's because those artists are keeping it real. And that's why they sound good over them.
yeah, because literally you can just go and get a sample pack and put some instruments together, and it'll just sound like everyone else. Because, as you said, I think it's a lot of people are thinking, oh, I hear this artist on the radio. If I rap like them and if I produce music like them, I will become successful.
That's that simplicity, you know. Shout out to the simple-minded people. I just like, I'm not trying to talk shit, but like, bro, like, people are gonna know I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, man. Like, you need to stop thinking on such of a level 1 thinking level, because this is not level 1, this is level life, and get out of this like, I need to be like them. No, you need to be like you. But you know, if you want to rap like them, you know, do it by all means. but don't do it and lie, please, because I don't know, fuck that, I won't listen.
You've got me thinking, Johnny. Like, honestly, I'm going to be thinking about this for the rest of the day.
That's dope. That's dope.
Because then it's like you have the labels that see this music's popular and then they want to get their artists at the top to continue writing music like that. And it's a weird system we have. Like, what do you reckon is next? Do you think it's literally going to go back to a focus on skill, or is some other genre going to take over? Or
I honestly, like, for a long time, I thought EDM was going to take over. I really did. And I still think it will, but I don't, like, because like Marshmello, shout out to Marshmello, you know, he's doing his, you know, shout out to Big G, you know, RL Grime, all those dudes, like they turned EDM mainstream, like they did, but it's still like not, it doesn't hit, you know, it doesn't hit. And I truly think pop is here and forever here to stay. There's going to be other subgenres and, you know, sub pieces off that subgenre, but pop is forever, because no matter what is going to hit a pop song, no matter what, if he could be the most grimiest artist rapper, but you put him on a pop beat, he's going to pop, literally. So you got, oh shit, you know, so it's, genres will always come in and out, but pop is always going to stay. It's like, if you want to blow up, do pop straight up. Like, but do it good. Make some good pop music. I'll fucking bump it.
exactly. It's like, you know, I don't know if you had this experience when I was a teenager, you know, like we had the emo kind of alt rock kids and they're like, oh, pop sucks. Even though a lot of the music in like the mid 2000s was like kind of Paramore and Chemical Romance and stuff like that. And it's
shout
like
out to My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Woo, yeah, those guys. 30 Seconds to Mars, fucking love them too, man. Man, those guys. The drummer, well, first of all, the singer, his I don't even know what you call that, tenor, beyond, I don't know, soprano. He just, man, I still try to like hit that note quietly. Like, dude, I can't do it. He's fucking, those guys can sing. Those guys can sing.
I agree with you about pop. It is going to stay just because pop is literally just a popular style of music at the time, and it's nothing to be feared, is it?
No, not at all. It's something that should be embraced, and I don't think as like a culture we don't embrace it too much because we listen to what everyone else says, and you know, we don't want to be judged. And I think at one point we have to understand that no matter what, people are going to judge us. No matter what, you're going to be judged. So give them something to fucking judge. Like, you know, that's my thing. Like, y'all can talk shit. Well, I'm gonna give you something to talk shit about then. Here you go. So listen, talk some shit then. But I can back it up on a track. Like, I won't go to, I'll let you punch me. You want to knock me out? Fine. I don't know how many people will take it, but you want to punch me? That's great. I love y'all. But like, you're gonna hear the most like horrendous track about you, and you'll be so pissed. You're gonna punch me again? Like, what? You can punch me once. Bro, I just don't have time for I just don't have time for like any of that stuff, you know? Like, we're all grown men, you know, so.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, you know, by the time people are, unless you have connections, right? A lot of the time people kind of make some gains in the audio industry when they're in their early 20s to late 20s, right?
Yeah.
And by that point, it's like, I think social media can often encourage like drama and stuff like that to try and get people interested and get clicks and stuff like that. But we're all adults, right?
Yeah, we're all adults, man. Like, just keep it real. Like, if we can't communicate, then we shouldn't be even like in the same room, because at that point, someone's gonna get fired up, and it might be me. I'm not perfect. I might get fucking angry. You know, she might say like start flipping the table or something, but I'm not gonna run at you. But I don't even want to get to the point of flipping the table, because that's a missed opportunity. That's a missed business. Like, that's just not who I am business wise. We both are obviously trying to reach the same goal. So let's just communicate, work this out, and let's fucking get it. Like, there's dreams, man. There's dreams to really fucking get. And they're real. And they're fucking real.
Yeah, if you don't get distracted by garbage, you can kind of get somewhere in life, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and if you do get distracted, like, don't be afraid to admit it. You know, take some accountability. Shit, I mean, I have distractions all over the place. So, you know, just own it and make music about it. Draw about it. Like, do something about it. Please do something about it and stop crying on social media. Like, I know how it was. I was that person. I cried on social media all the time, but just getting out of it, now looking at myself, I wish I didn't, but I did. And it is what it is, but I'm, trying to save you, whoever's watching. Don't do it. Just own up. Just own up.
I guess as a final thing, because we're starting to get to the end of the interview very slowly, what's like your main end goal of this 5-track series in relation to how you want to communicate to people, like your overall message? Is it going to be consistent, or are there going to be different ideas explored?
That when it reaches number 5 is when I'm hoping to be a successful, my CFAM records, shout out to my team, shout out to Lex, Alan Snow, and Yori. I love y'all guys, man. For real, no homo. But I want people to visualize my life while listening to these albums, and you can hear from when I was a child to where I'm at now. And from that point on, Change from Apollo, after 5 years, will be let go. I'll have let go of that last chain, and it'll have to be time to move on. And I'm not changing Jonni Apollo, but Change from Apollo is literally going to be my life. It's going to be a 5-part audio, album book of my life. And I want you to be able to close your eyes and listen to that whole series and visualize my life as, through your eyes, however you'd like to see it. But then at that point, you won't need to, because we'll be at the present and you'll be with me from there on. Like, I want to catch people up pretty much.
That's actually gorgeous. No, that's fantastic. I have a lot of respect for what you do, and the fact of the matter is that you've got enough polish and sort of you've got just even by talking about the triplets, like the double time stuff, I can tell you've spent some time with sort of music theory and composition and songwriting and stuff. And you do your own recording, mixing, and mastering as well, so you've got all the tools you need to really be able to make the most of this.
Yeah. And, if anyone wants to do that, I suggest it. Just keep as much money in your pocket as you possibly can and go spend it like we were talking about earlier. Have a little team in place. Don't be afraid to spend money, but also don't be afraid to save money. It's like there's a balance, man. There's a balance, and I really hope people can find their balance, because it's really hard, and I fall off balance. And if you fall off balance, don't stress, like we all fucking do. But find that balance, man. Find that balance.
That's fantastic. I think that that's 5 years, eh? That's 5 years. I guess as a final question before we finish, right? What do you think the music industry is going to be like in 5 years' time?
I think we're going to be back to order, to be honest with you. I think because there's so much disorder, because all these SoundCloud rappers that did pop, that they let all their friends in the industry and they just kind of ran rapid, that's already fizzling out, and talent's coming back in, and talent understands that things need to be in place. Talent understands talent, and in order to have a talented platform, you need to have a talented label, which needs to have a talented industry. So in order to get all of that talent back, you gotta weed out the untalented. And I feel I'm going to be like, I'm gonna fucking say it. I think that's what I'm called. I'm called to help set help these other, musical gods set a tone for this fucking future generation, because this shit needs to go back to fucking, and that's why I'll end it right there. It just, I'm a part of that. I'm a part of that fuck, because I'm fucking dope, man. And I spent years. So time to get it.
All right. Where can people go check out material? How can we find out more about Jonni Apollo?
You can type in Jonni Apollo anywhere you like, on Spotify, Instagram. I have lately been saying you could just check out Google. It's pretty cool. You can just Google my name, JONNIAPOLLO. And the first thing that pops up is all my musical stuff, and they have every single link right there at the top of Google. And 30 pages of me on Google. Y'all can have fun. It's fucking crazy. Fucking crazy.
Well, this has been an absolute pleasure, Jonni. Thank you so much for having a chat today.
Man, thank you very much. And, shout out to all the viewers. And again, shout out to my team. Love y'all. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye. And that was Jonni Apollo. I look like I'm in a horror movie, don't I? What an incredible experience that was. I hope Jonni enjoyed that interview. I did. I had a good time with that interview. really interesting to hear from someone who is very, very keen to be a part of the industry shaping and forming in a way that I think ultimately is very desirable. I think that it can be tricky to make your way as an artist, and there's people trying to do it in all sorts of different ways. I think that, Jonny's impressively honest sort of way of approaching it is something to be commended. And I would also say recommended. Well done to Jonni. Well done to Jonni Apollo. I will leave links here for you to go check out Jonny's material. As Jonni said, you can go Google him and find out more about him. Hopefully you have a fantastic day, fantastic evening. And please do show Jonni some love on his various social medias and SoundCloud and Spotify. Stay cool and stay safe. And please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time. And I'll catch you in the next interview. Spider hands up.